Hi, I'm Pranav, a developer advocate here at Thales. Many a times we developers, love using managed cloud services. I can confess that I love using AWS RDS and S3 to store my structured data and files because it's just so easy to integrate with my application. However, when our applications scale, a lot of the times we forget to encrypt the data that's coming in to these services. And it's really hard to have an unencrypted data and guarantee security of your users' data. And the main reason we don't encrypt data is because you got to manage keys, you got to make sure the encryption's working, you got to make sure nothing fails. And that's really hard at times. But Cipher Trust Manager, as a key manager, comes with an out of the box solution that lets you connect with your AWS account, manage your keys, rotate your keys, and encrypt your cloud managed services like AWS RDS or AWS S3. So today I'm going to show you how to encrypt your AWS RDS database or your S3 bucket in just 3 simple clicks or 3 steps. So first, I'm going to head into my AWS console and I'm going to go to Identity Access Management. I'm going to select the user under the Users tab that I want to connect to my Cipher Trust Manager console. Under here, note that you will have to give this user permissions to access KMS and a few other permissions. They will be linked with the resources of this video. So heading back to my users, I just need to grab my security credentials that I get from my IAM console so that Cipher Trust Manager can authenticate with AWS and connect to it. So under Cipher Trust Manager, I'm going to go under Access Management and then click on Connections. And in here, I'm going to add a new connection, select Cloud, AWS for this case, and then name it Demo Connection 1, for example. And now I'm going to enter my AWS Access Key ID and Access Secret. Once I've entered my AWS Key ID and Access Secret, I'm now just going to test the credentials to make sure it's working. Once that's working, I'm just going to click on Next. And I'm going to make this AWS account that I'm connecting integrate with Cloud Key Manager. I'll click on Add a Connection. And just for the sake of it, I'm just going to go test it again to see that it's working. Now that it's all working, we can head over into Products, go to Cloud Key Manager, and then click on Containers and click on an AWS KMS account. Over here, we would need to add a new account. So we can call this Demo DB Encryption, for example, right? And I'm gonna choose the account that I just connected to. And over here, you can choose the regions you wanna, make this key accessible in, or like the regions you wanna, encrypt services in, right? In this case, you could choose all available regions. And that's what I'm going to do for this case. However, if you have more fine-grained servers in certain regions, you might want to restrict that. Now I hit on Save. And that's it. It's been added and connected to my KMS account. And what we could do now is we could create a new key. Once I select my region, I'm going to click on Native. Right now, I'm just going to do a single region key. And I'm going to choose a symmetric key because I'm doing file encryption and it's a lot more efficient. So we'll call the key aliases demo db encryption key. And then you can add tags to label your data. For now, I'm not going to do that. And then I'm going to click on Add a Key. And what this is doing is it's creating a key on your AWS account. So now if we head over to our AWS KMS account, there would be a key that would have already been created by Cipher Trust Manager. And it's completely managed by Cipher Trust Manager. So Cipher Trust Manager is now managing all key rotations, deletions of keys, and all that stuff. So as you can see, it created a symmetric key called Demo DB Encryption. Now, Cipher Trust Manager comes with a lot of features that lets you do deletions, rotations, batch data encryption, and all that fancy stuff. But now, to show you how to encrypt databases and object storages for your applications, we're going to head in and create a simple test database on RDS. I'm going to go into the RDS console and create a new database, a Postgres database. And I would, in the settings, I would just scroll down to the part where it asks me to encrypt it with a key. Now, AWS has put its default keys. However, now that we've added our own key manager into AWS, we can directly use the key we just created on CipherTrust Manager, which is demo DB encryption. And now all I need to do is just click on create database. And just like that, it's spinning up a new database where all the data you stored is encrypted with the key from CipherTrust Manager. Similarly, we're gonna go to S3 and create another bucket. So in S3, I can just click on create a bucket, and I can call it demo CipherTrust key management. And in here, I'm going to just allow public access so I can view some files. And over here, we can just enable server-side encryption, but we can choose the AWS key management service where you can choose which AWS KMS key you want to use. So let's say you have like 5 different keys managed by CipherTrust Manager. You can choose which key you want to use. So I'm going to use demo DB encryption and just click on create bucket. And just like that, it spun up a new bucket. Now I'm going to upload a file just to make sure that everything works just the same as it would on a normal bucket that's not encrypted. And it finished uploading my file. Now I'll just go and view it. And it's the same video that loaded, which was on our YouTube tutorials. And all of this is being encrypted using the CipherTrust Key Manager, but all the data is being stored on AWS. The amazing part of this is it also creates a division of trust where you can use AWS to trust it with your data and your SLAs and making sure your data is always up, but you can trust CipherTrust Manager to always keep your keys very securely and separate the two, to work in a more zero trust manner. And just like that, you can encrypt any AWS managed service or any cloud managed service with CipherTrust Manager. Happy encrypting!